And here we are.
Hey everybody. I know this is supposed to be the Wheel Girl Talk, but I'm kind of invading the space. I have my appropriate shirt on for the occasion, I feel. Julienne is helping me out. So we're just gonna hang out and talk. If you guys have any questions, I think we're gonna talk a little bit about the Rolettes experience last week and kind of whatever else. We can talk some outdoor stuff if you want, Julienne. Some Miss Wheelchair California, or if you guys have any questions, let us know, please, in the chat.
Yeah, yeah. I'm lucky. Shawn called me up and asked if I could join the girls, and then the girls ran into time crunches, so I get to hang with Shawn and
Yeah,
finally catch up. We saw each other at Roulette's, but it was like pa-ching, going different directions.
yeah, I know it was busy. But I do appreciate you helping me get when we got in there, you helping me find Joe and get everything set up and going and stuff. Yeah, you and um, yeah, everybody that was there helping and stuff. As Justin also definitely helped me get going. So yeah, appreciate that. But it was busy. It was cool. It was fun. And we pretty much stayed at our booth the whole time. Um, since we weren't there for the whole event, wanted to make sure to like represent and be there. Um, so that was fun. And then Bobby and stuff wandered off. We actually did have Viv helping out at our booth too. So shout out to Viv as well, who came to hang out. So she gave us a couple little breaks, able to go to the
And
bathroom.
usually, as usual, you had the groupies around your booth.
Yeah,
Like I'd
no,
look, I was like two booths down from these guys, and I'd look over, and they had, all the wheelchair people were hanging out right in front of Sean's booth there.
yeah,
As you
yeah, no, we did have a nice little group of people hanging out, following again. So that's always fun. That's why I love having our booth be kind of like somewhere where people like to come and hang out and feel welcome and can just be able to take a break sometimes even from pushing around and doing the event, just kind of hang out and talk and
Yeah, and then Justin was right across the aisle from you,
yep, which was
and
really nice.
he did his Zoom shows right there on Friday, and you actually joined in for about 20 seconds, didn't you?
I did. I lasted maybe 2 minutes. I think that was about it. That was a really good workout. You guys like, I mean, it's no weight, it's just motion, but it's constant motion, and it's yeah. No, you're in
Mhm.
great shape, Julian. Like that's definitely like. And yeah,
I
shout
hear
out to Wow Fitness. If you guys don't know, Wonders on Wheels. Check out Wow Fitness. Justin, Julianne is on there. You pretty regularly are on there, right? I mean, at least
he does Monday through Friday. It's only 30 minutes, and as Jeanette famously said early on, I can do anything for 30 minutes. And so, but Justin keeps us laughing, and we keep each other laughing all the way through it. So, yeah, frequently it doesn't even seem like 30 minutes. But Monday through Friday, 12 to 12:30, it's on Zoom. It's a big 25 bucks a month. So there's really no excuse not to do it. And the biggest thing to me probably was in my first 6 months of doing the WOW classes, I lost 6 inches off my waist
did you
because I
really?
realized we never twist, right? When we're in manual chairs, and power chairs, we just go forward, back, but we never twist. So
Yeah,
6 inches in 6 months.
that's actually really incredible. That's cool. I didn't know. Yeah, you had the. I mean, I feel like you've always were in pretty good shape, but yeah, now thinking about it, like you are definitely like really like took your fitness up a level. Like you can see it in your arms too. You got you. I saw the flex.
Yeah.
Oh,
And this arm has, let's see, 3 out of my 5 rotator cuff muscles or tendons are severed. So it's amazing that I'm as strong as I am. I went to the shoulder doctor and he goes, I've never seen anybody with injuries like this who's got the strength you do. And I went, it's Justin.
yeah, and that's what's cool. I think that's what I always, when I was younger and working out, trying to train for rugby and stuff, I did a lot with weights, and I was always trying to do like more weights, like have like. And I realized that that's you want to have a little bit of that for strength building, but a lot of it really is just the repetitive motion, and like it it doesn't take heavy weights. In fact, I had more shoulder pain and strains and things when I was trying to do heavier weight stuff. Um,
Yep, same with me. I always for about 2.5 years, I always used the weights during Justin's classes, and then I had to just stop because I was just hurting myself. I needed to save that strength in the muscles. I needed to save it for daily life. So just going through the motions tones you up, and it's very aerobic. So that's always where I'm coming from. Can I eat more if I do this? Awesome.
yeah, more calories you burn, the more you can take in.
It's my third glass of wine. Thank you, Justin.
No, that is very true for fitness and things, and just for having a disability. I feel like any your ADLs, your any of the stuff you have to do every day, your transfers, your dressing, anything like all that stuff is significantly easier if you're in better shape and don't have extra weight to move around and things. And um, so I know for sure that helps. I'm a have always been naturally pretty thin built, but I know for sure when I am stronger and kind of staying with, some workouts that I don't get as much fatigue and things from
Yeah,
transfers or even like driving right now, like we were just talking about before, without that reduced effort steering, without the sensitized steering, like and that is a workout and I have to save my strength for any driving that I'm doing. So,
yeah, yeah.
um,
How long have you been in the chair now? I
I,
forget.
so 21 years. I actually just said this January was because I got injured when I was 21 and I turned 42 last year and then had my 21-year anniversary this January in 2025. So uh,
Wow, I didn't think it was that long.
yeah, it has been that long. And I remember I met you pretty well, I think right away when I was still in rehab doing support
I think
groups because
so.
you were always at the Northridge support groups and
Always.
yeah, always there. And I bought my first van from you that actually when you were at Mobility Works way back then in like
Way back
2000, I
when, yeah.
think 5 or 6 was when I think I bought that van. Five,
Well, we were advanced mobility until June of '06, and
okay.
then we turned into Mobility Works in June of '06. So,
But it must have been right around I think it was Mobility Works when, or maybe not. I can't remember specifically now if it was or had been, but it was around that time. Yeah, that I had got that my first van, and that van
okay, I
only
gotta ask.
lasted me what?
Uh, okay, so you're talking about sensitized steering. What kind of a car did you buy? It's not a Toyota, right?
It is a Toyota. It's a
It is
2016
a Toyota.
2016 Toyota Sienna. Yeah.
Because we always said that usually with a Toyota, you don't need sensitized steering because the electronic steering on a Toyota makes it so much easier than the other cars around in those days. But I guess that's not necessarily the case.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much harder it would be with a without that if another make car because I actually didn't realize that that was easier for the Toyotas. The I was told it was a little bit easier possibly just because like for one this van has much bigger tires on it and it's
Ooh,
newer so I thought the bigger tire would be a less of a turn I'd have to like make or I don't know I just I wasn't sure. I thought it would be easier but it's
it's
not.
a theory.
It's and like I said, I can drive it. I drove it over here and stuff, but it's hard holding turns and um, like so any curvy type of road, which I made the mistake. We used to always take little drives, not all the way to Mount Baldy, but we're right at the base of Mount Baldy. So we go up like the mountain a little bit, and then there's this little
Yeah.
turnaround spot, and you can come back down into Claremont, the other side, and you kind of do like you're not all the way up the mountain. You just kind of go like slightly up into it and then back down. And I made the mistake of trying that a couple weeks ago.
Oops.
Yeah, because we were just doing like a little ride after the park. That we were out with the dog, and the dog. I think he was one of the nights he got a little scared. Sometimes fireworks and things, will make him a
Yeah.
little nervous, and he didn't want to do the walk. So we were just like, okay, we'll do the ride. And I made a mistake of taking that route. And by the end of it, by the time I got home, my shoulder was dead. I was
Yeah.
like,
No switchbacks.
mm-mm.
No switchbacks.
Yeah, and that one it wasn't even like where you get higher up in the mountain where it's like the really hard ones. there was like maybe one kind of tighter one, but like it was curvy. It wasn't the hard switchbacks, but I almost prefer that because then I can like slow down to a stop,
Yeah.
turn and go. But yeah, it was not a wise decision for that. Um, and I don't remember if that first van I got from you had the sensitized steering, because even I only had that van for about 6 months because I ended up getting into a car accident with it, and that one again wasn't my fault. I was going through an intersection. As soon as I got to the intersection, like a truck tried to make a left in front of me. Like I guess he thought he didn't see me or I don't know, thought I was stopping, but I wasn't stopping because it had just turned yellow. Like it was literally like it was even like it wasn't gonna be I don't know, but I ended up totaling that van and getting a new 2007 Sienna, which is the one I had for about the last 20 years almost until it just completely
Were
broke.
you the one, do you transfer into transfer seat or do you drive from your chair?
I use a transfer seat. Yeah, I have the
That's
transfer
what I
seat.
thought. Were you the one that was in an accident and you didn't tie your chair down and your chair went flying?
That's me.
And
And
then
it
you were
ripped the
stuck in
emotion
it?
wheel off. It ripped the axle out of the emotion wheel. So it actually destroyed my emotion wheel as well because it like ripped the axle from the inside um, of the wheel. And so I had to get a new set of those too. And yeah, because the chair went up and luckily it flew and hit the passenger seat, not the driver's seat, like the back of my chair where I was driving.
Right.
That probably would have given me a little nice impact from the back. Um, which
Another spinal cord injury.
yeah.
Yay.
Well, and that's what I honestly was a little nervous on that one because, like I said,
Sure.
I was going through the intersection. The first car I T-boned because he made the left in front of me, but it made the van turn 90 degrees so that I was now, instead of facing forward, I was facing like I was going to had made a right like that direction, but I had drifted into the other lanes of traffic. So a car driving straight down the road hit the back of my van. So actually got hit twice. I got hit, I T-boned the first
Oh,
one, spun, and then got the back of the van hit and it spun me back the other direction. So I spun like 90 degrees, got hit, and then spun back the other 90 degrees and ended up straight again. So it was like, I definitely thought I had some sort of whiplash of like something, but
that's like a Tom Cruise maneuver right there.
it was a scary, yeah, it was scary. And then the fact that my chair ripped off, I couldn't get out of the vehicle. So I just had to sit
Right.
there until I had called my dad and he was like on his way home from work, I think at the time. So he got there in about a half hour or so, 40 minutes, I think. And then he had to literally carry me, pick me up from the driver's seat, carry me around to his car, set me in his passenger seat, so that we could like leave the scene of the accident and have the
So
van.
for a half hour, you're sitting in the transfer seat
I was just
in a
sitting in
wrecked
it,
car.
just sitting. Yeah, that had like the paramedics talking to me, asking me questions, cops asking me the questions and stuff. But I was just like stuck there because the chair was broken and I was stuck.
Now, why didn't the paramedics take you out? I would think they'd be worried about
Put
the
me on a
van.
gurney or something. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't actually thinking it back on it. I don't know why they didn't like put me on like a gurney or something and sit me in the back of the thing for a minute. I don't know, or maybe I don't remember honestly what if they asked me that or if they offered or not. But yeah. So anybody out
Hey, we got Andrew
there? Andrew.
chiming in with something interesting. Sorry, Andrew. I mean, it is interesting, not necessarily good. You said you're in need of a heart transplant after heart attack and open heart surgery last year.
Yeah, Andrew's had a lot of health issues and a lot of issues with he's out in the UK, but had just been dealing with a lot of different health things and stuff. But yeah,
So
we
the
hope.
question is, if you're in the UK, do you have to wait around forever to get things treated? Which is what they tell us in America to make us feel better about our health care.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I know he's mentioned in here before that he hasn't had access to things or has been taking, periods of times or been denied certain things and stuff. Um, but yeah, so hopefully uh, get health in order and stuff and get out of the hospital. Because I know for a while he was in and out of the hospital, and then I shout out Andrew for a minute, and I don't know if this was maybe too much for you, but he was like on a world tour. He'd be posting here on the chat like, "Hey, I'm in New York," and he was in the States. He was in another country. He was like doing a cruise. And but then ended up having health issues, and for the last like year or so, I think now he's been back um, in the hospital. But Andrew's been a follower for quite some time and watching, friend of the channel.
So you have a heart attack and then you get put on a waiting list for a year and a half? Okay, our healthcare is bad, but that's worse.
Yeah, I think everywhere has issues and stuff, and
Everywhere has issues.
but yeah, and that's one of the really hard things I feel like about disability and navigating any type of stuff like that. And then now we're actually hopefully most people won't be out there losing benefits, but there is some possibility, especially with cuts to Medicare, or if it gets cut out completely and things could affect a lot of people out there. For
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. IHSS. I did talk to one of my clients from the expo. She worked for Calagon, that really cool cushion.
oh yeah,
And she's left Calagon, and it's her passion to, she advises people on, given their situations, what healthcare they should be getting. Or if they already have healthcare and they don't understand it, she'll just get on the phone with you and explain, go through the healthcare stuff and go, okay, well, this is what you do have, this is what you don't have. I'm like, wow, we need about 10 million of those people in
yeah,
our country because it gets so confusing, doesn't it?
yeah. No, navigating that stuff is so hard and confusing.
Yeah, maybe one of these days I'll ask her to get on as one of our podcasts, and we can take questions and see
Yeah,
what she
stuff
has
like
to
that
say.
is so important for people. That information is like the best stuff to get out here for people. Um, yeah, stuff like that is really really helpful. Any resources and things like that to help, just information to help navigate the system. So yeah, hopefully.
Healthcare navigators, is that what we call them, Leah? I love that.
Yeah, that is actually good. That's so yeah, that'd be great if you could maybe reach out to her. I'll talk to you after the show about that. Be because that's a super good, cool one. We could either do it, have them come on with you guys on the Thursday. I could have you and them come on
Mhm.
a Tuesday or a different time. But yeah, that is awesome. And Chad in chat chair life says hi, and then yeah, thank goodness I wasn't driving from my wheelchair. Yeah, I don't know how that would have been. I feel like the seat.
Squish.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know it secures and stuff like that when you drive from your chair. You have to do the lockdown and things. So but I also don't have a direct seatbelt on my wheelchair, so I mean I don't have like a yeah. I always thought that's scary too when you go into access vans and things like that, and they'll strap my chair down, and then they do put the seatbelt on me, but I just feel like I'm not sure that where the seatbelt lines up and how that it's gonna stop me in the event of a
So loose, right? Or else it's up here or it's down here, like on your knees. Yeah,
yeah.
it's kind of
Uh,
funky. Back
uh,
in the day, I remember somebody invented, because I've always advised people, if you're in a manual chair, don't drive from your chair just because of the whiplash factor,
yeah,
unless you
the
have a
manual.
manual chair where the back comes up. Somebody invented something that attached to the B pillar, this from the drivers, the B pillar here, and would come along. You go in, and then it shut behind your chair and provided extra support and a headrest. And
Okay.
it was on the market for about a year and then disappeared. This is probably 15 years ago.
Huh.
Um,
I wonder if there was
that
like safety issues for it or something. It sounds like a good idea. It sounds like it would help, but
I think what happened was it was one guy who invented it and thought it would be great, put it on the market, and then, with all the nits of different s- safety rules, then and you'd have to crash test it, which is $1 million per crash test, and all the rest of that stuff. So that's what happens to a lot of these really good ideas.
yeah, that's get lost in that. That's crazy. $1 million for a crash test.
Hey, that's what it was 20 years ago. It's probably more now.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
yeah. I guess
each crash test.
that's
And you
pretty
make
crazy.
one little change in the vehicle, you have to do another crash test.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean I that seems like a lot, but I guess the auto manufacturers do have a bit of money, but but that's crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's but stuff like that is cool. And yeah, that's the one thing I don't think anybody probably should drive from the manual chair. That's just not a very stable, safe position. That's one of the reasons why I do like the transfer. I feel much more stable in like the solid base of the chair. Like I know that thing is solid. Like the back is solid. I don't have a
Yeah.
a mesh or like a soft sling backrest with just like strings for tension or like, cords for tension kind of thing. Like it's not. It's a little more sturdy.
Yeah. At the very least, it would be serious whiplash.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
yeah,
be.
yeah. So that's that as well. But what else? Anything else you want to mention from the Rolettes or anything like that, or ring up? I don't remember. I know we did mention they had the Rolettes Plus this year, so they had kind of the guys come out for the
Yeah.
Friday. I'm not sure uh, how that turned out. I guess yeah, you said that the feedback you've heard from everybody was good. Um,
The energy was great. And especially, I was touched by the kids between like 15 and 25 who came from all over the world just to get together with other people who can relate to what they're going through. I think that is just invaluable. And I love that the Chelsea and her gang put that on every year. Never mind what the workshops are, what the dances are, just getting girls together in a room who've never seen even 5 people in their situation, much less 250, right?
Yeah, no, that's what's good. I actually did really. I noticed that there was a lot of girls from all over the country, and I know there was one from I think the UK or something. We had talked to at the thing, so they were international as well. But yeah, we talked to quite a few from like, and actually shout out. I don't think Leon's in the chat right now, but there was I think a 3 different people from Minnesota because Leon is out in the Minnesota area, um, and then I think a few people from the Carolinas. I had talked to I don't remember if it was North or South Carolina, um, but yeah, it was cool. It's cool to see that so many cool people would travel and come for the events. I wish more people would do that for even like a Triumph Sports Festival, a 2 day sports festival, something that's like a multiple day, or Angel City Games, like the
Yeah.
3 day like things, because for those multi-day events, it really can be worth, I think the community aspect alone for people to come out and
Yeah, and
meet.
at the Miss Wheelchair booth, so one of my first questions when a woman would come up was, "Okay, what state are you from?" So, because I didn't just assume they were all Californians, and they were from all over the place. It was really cool.
Yeah,
So, I just gave them the information about signing up to be Miss Wheelchair South Dakota or wherever they were from.
yeah, no, that's
Just neat.
cool. That is cool. They can get all the different states that be like the different Miss Wheelchair stuff. That is cool. And do you get a lot of interaction with the other states winners, like the Miss Wheelchair, besides at like the big, Miss America one? Or
Nationals? We do. The 2024 group, there were a couple girls got sick right before nationals, so I think there were 20 of us. And we have stayed, that was last August, and we still have an ongoing text chat, all 20 of us,
oh, that's cool.
because I have never met so many bright, funny, dedicated, and gutsy people in one room. It was just amazing. I mean, there wasn't a loser among this group. And when was the last time you were in a group of 20 people and you could actually say that? So,
That's
yeah. So, I mean, that's why I say it's so, so, so worth it. And I sure didn't think it was going to be, but it's so worth it to get involved in the whole Mr. Wheelchair thing. I've had so many guys ask me, is there Mr. Wheelchair? Start one.
yeah. Somebody can start that.
I'll
That's
help
the
you start.
that's what's great about the community, and you can totally do stuff like that. I feel like because even with the Miss Wheelchair stuff like that was started, I'm sure by one person or a small group of
Yep.
people that wanted to just kind of put it together and got it organized and just allowed it to grow. And then now, yeah, that's it's cool. That's what I feel like on the channel. We definitely always promote anybody that want like doing stuff like that in their areas.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
so,
Well, Robert asked how was the guys' day at the experience. I can tell you there were some girls who were jealous because they were looking at the schedule and it said something about guys' sexuality or romance for guys or
yeah, they
how do
had this.
guys deal with relationships, something like that. And the girls were like, "We're going to crash that." Okay, good luck with that. I saw they have like people standing at the doors, but you know, do your
Yeah,
worst.
I would hope they have something like that for the girls as well. The like a sexuality dating one. I would assume or hope, but I know that there are a lot of attendees that are younger. Um,
Yeah.
but like, because that's what even one of the girls we met, she was only 14, I, and she had been there this is her seventh year. She's been coming since she was 7 years old. This little like girl, like she just coming with mom and her
Wow.
family and doing it like it's so cool. It just like really has like been her whole growing up, like. But I could see so I know there's underage uh, girls and stuff there, but I feel like you just either they do the age thing or if parent consent like something along those lines. But
And they had people there doing art classes and stuff. So if if you were if the sexuality workshop wasn't appropriate for you, you can, go paint Tinkerbell in the other room.
yeah, and I did actually hear from a couple of the guys that went to that they actually really enjoyed the sex talk. I think it was originally supposed to be like a panel, a few people talking, and from
Uh,
what I heard, like Danny Gomez was telling me, it just turned into basically a support group. The whole everybody circled, everybody shared, everybody talked, and it was very like much of a community space of just sharing it. So it kind of changed from more of like a panel with maybe answering a couple of questions to like a true full engagement from everybody. So that's cool. I feel like that's probably a lot of people probably like that better because they're involved in the conversation. They can give their feedback, you know, their whatever, and have questions and things as well. But
Much better than the sex tape with ugly people that I got shown in 1996 when I was at Northridge, inpatient at Northridge.
I,
Dr. Rudnick played this. Oh, such a bad movie. Such a bad movie.
I'm almost sure that was the same one that got played for me in 2004 when I was at Northridge Hospital. I can almost guarantee it because it was clearly not an updated video in the last like 10 years. It was It was definitely made probably, like more later 80s, like something
Like
like
80s, definitely screamed 80s. Yeah.
so.
Yeah. And I kind of thought the whole point of it was, oh, you're not going to have sex anymore? That's okay. You're not missing much. Look. Yeah, not good.
Uh,
Not good.
yeah, but
So,
that stuff is very important for people and something that is hard to talk about for some people, I think, and hard to bring up to like a doctor or something like that if you do have
oh, yeah.
questions after your injury or diagnosis. Like,
Hey, Leah asked a really good question back there. I didn't want to just
yeah,
blow it off
I,
about social anxiety, right?
yep, I was gonna get, but
So if,
yeah, good.
if you're worried about, going out in public, maybe for the first time, and other people seeing you in a wheelchair or you seeing other people, I'm just always been kind of a brash, gutsy person, so I didn't personally experience that after my injury, but I sure have met a lot of other people who have.
Yeah,
So I can tell you what my advice is I was at the Hollywood Bowl, and back in those days, you park, and then they had like these pallets, like they would have at Home Depot. And the person in the wheelchair is up on this pallet attached to a little truck, and you're going through the crowd. So you're sitting like, you know, 4 feet off the ground. So, you're 9 feet above the crowds, and everybody's staring at you in your wheelchair. And I just went, I'm just going to assume they're staring at me because I look so good up here. So I started waving at everybody and just kind of convince yourself that it's a good thing instead of a bad thing. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's helpful, but that's how I got through.
No, that is good advice. That is good. And I know I think this was predates Triumph Foundation, but I know Triumph uses it a lot because I remember somebody telling me this in rehab was just pretend that you are the celebrity or the rock star or whatever, the athlete that you always had like thought you could be or wanted to be, and that's why people are looking at you. That's why people open doors for you. Don't think of it as like, oh, they're staring at me because I'm in a wheelchair. But I still do that. Leo pointed out all the time, like I don't think it's because you're in a wheelchair, dude. It's because you're like today, like it's because you're wearing a pink shirt and you're walking like whatever. And I'm like,
And you're calling yourself a bitch and you've got lipstick on your shirt.
that's
Yeah,
right.
could make you stand out in a crowd.
Yeah, so that's what a lot of times she'll point out. She'll be like, I don't think it's because you're in a wheelchair. Like it's but like that is in your mind, especially when you're first new to it, when you're first having to use a wheelchair and go out in public spaces. Yeah, you kind of think like everyone's staring at you. But that's why I like your idea. Just yeah, you just embrace it, wave, be like I'm on the stage.
I'm on the stage. Or, hey, I've got this truck all to myself and they're taking me up to the gate and you poor suckers have to walk. There's
Yeah,
that then. So
yeah. There's all kinds. Those are all kinds of good ways I feel like to deal with that.
it's a good
Those,
question, Leah.
but yeah, that is a very good question. And yeah, I've definitely not so much anymore, but I for sure had a lot of social anxieties going out places. Whether that was a community event, just out to wherever in public, anywhere. Um, but yeah, now I feel pretty good and welcomed at most things, and I don't really worry if people are staring too much. I might make a comment or say something, think about it, but I'm not stuck on it, like dwelling, getting anxiety, feeling weird about it.
Mm-hmm. What helped you snap out of it? Do you remember?
Um, Honestly, I think it might have been some of when I first started going places and traveling with rugby and then going out with multiple
Yeah.
people in wheelchairs, like from the rugby team, like we'd go to dinner or something. And then once you realize like that's when people look at five, six people in a wheelchair rolling together into like a restaurant, that does grab a little more attention. They're kind of like, "Eh," and then I felt like that just
Yeah.
got me used to it. Like, well, because I wasn't alone. I was like, well, they're not looking at me, they're looking at all of us. Like, we're all
Yeah.
like, and then slowly, I feel like that kind of did just turn to where I just sort of. I did also try to embrace that mentality of like, yeah, I'm just I guess I'm a rock star. Like I can, like, open the door for me. I'm
Yeah.
coming. Like,
Yeah.
uh,
I could see you signing autographs. That would be
yeah.
fun.
Taking celebrity pictures. All right, that's.
Well, Andrew, what you're describing in the comments there sounds like post-traumatic stress. You had a horrible time, lost your dad and your brother, then got dumped by your fiance, then lost your mom to breast cancer. Um, yeah, I can
Yeah, no,
see
that's
why you anxious and traumatized, right?
yeah, that's more than just having a disability. Obviously, having all those extra things on top, family, health, and all the different stuff that is there. So that's yeah, that's just really, really a lot for anybody to go through, and it does happen. People I know, like that's I have met others and stuff that were injured in car accidents and things and did lose family and friends, and I can't imagine how hard that is to for your mental health and the struggles that add into already dealing with going through your disability and things. So
Yeah, I remember the first support group I went to at Northridge, I was seated next to Tova, and I mentioned something to her about, yeah, this really sucks, doesn't it? And she looked at me very seriously and she said, imagine that not only did you get paralyzed, but you lost your youngest child in that car accident. And I went, this is me shutting up now. Never, I was thinking about my own whatever and how dramatic it all was. And compared to losing a kid, ow.
Yeah, yeah, stuff like that is definitely, I feel like, more of a struggle probably than the injury itself, and getting
Yeah.
through. And yeah,
Perspective.
yeah, that perspective is definitely. As a Robert Soto in the chat, and shout out to Robert. So that he went back to college right after his discharge in 1974 and got right back into the social mix. But Robert also, and I'm actually gonna reach out to him about. We've had him on for community things as well, like his bonus shows and stuff. Not just hosting the Rolling Over the Hill with Bobby, but he found community only, I think, what, Robert, was maybe 7, 8 years ago, like within the last decade. Before that, he stuck to himself since the late mid 70s. He just kind of worked, had his own friends, did his own personal grind, worked, retired, did that, and never connected with the community until he met like Triumph and went to, I think, a support group in Casa, and then now is like just loves it. I think he even for a period was a peer mentor over at Rancho Los Amigos with Bobby, um, and then has been a big part of the Live to Roll stuff and helping. So shout out to Robert, and yeah, finding that community late in late.
Wow. So I've never heard a story like that before. That's pretty amazing. From 74 to 2017.
Yeah,
Dang.
yeah, just kind of kept
Dang,
to
dude.
himself and did his own thing. So that is pretty wild and pretty hard, and that's what. And I
Yeah.
know he's talked about it a bunch of times with us that like that's something he does wish he would have maybe reached out and found sooner in life, like or not lost the contact completely. Kept some people in his life from that, but because that's what the community aspect of it. That's what you have nobody to lean on. Like nobody asks questions and stuff like that. When you do have like a bladder problem or you're
Right.
constipated or something, that's like you can't usually ask your able-bodied friend or family member. Like it's harder.
Yeah. Need to go on Jeanette's poop group on Wednesdays, where
Poop.
we always end up talking about poop.
Okay. Shout out. And that's
Shout
what.
out to the poop group.
Yeah, that's what I feel
Wednesdays
like. The
are
poop group is definitely like the one to be part of, and we always do like talking shit on the channel.
Well, yeah, if there's people have more questions about that than I think anything else in my almost 30 years of being in the chair. I've heard more poop questions than certainly than sex questions, and definitely than walking questions.
Yeah, bowel and bladder I feel like are definitely the top ones, and then yeah, dating, sex, relationships, like walking does fall way way farther down the line there, and it's just not honestly the. I can imagine that you would really care about the walking if you had already figured all of that stuff out or those weren't issues. But I can't imagine caring all, like that much. Like I don't care that much. I'm like, for me personally, I would way, way, way rather have some bowel and bladder, which I'm grateful. I do now have a lot better bowel management. I don't sit in the bathroom for 3 to 4 hours using suppositories anymore. Now I'm done with the Peristeen system, which is like a high volume enema irrigation system for people that don't know, made by Coloplast. Um, I'm done in like 20 minutes, 30 if I'm having
So
like a rough
what
day.
are the long I've always wondered what are the long-term effects if you're squirting water up your butt every day?
So I know it does. There are things online you can read on long-term effects of using enemas and things like that. It can weaken your own bowel control, but since I don't have bowel control, it
begin with.
I don't think that there's any real long term negative effects. Because like I used the suppositories for 18 years or so.
Hmm.
Was that about 18? Or no, a little less, I guess. Maybe when did I switch to Paristine? It's probably about 17 years then, I think. 'Cause it's been about 4 years now since I've switched. Um, and even that is the same type of thing because but that is using a chemical to stimulate your bowel, which is a
Hmm.
lot rougher on everything in there. So I feel like the water is just a lot easier on my system. I think I hope there's not going to be any long term effect, but I have been using it for several years now, and it has been good. It's been working.
Do you use it every day?
No, I actually use it 4 days a week. So
Hmm.
I instead of doing every other day, and the reason why I don't like to do every other day is because it just makes the schedule hard because one week it's
Right.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The next week you're Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So it's just like this
Hmm.
constant like week to week thing. So what I do is actually Monday, Tuesday back to back, and then I do Thursday and Saturday. So
Don't you mean butt to butt?
butt to butt, yeah, I do butt to butt. I do Monday, Tuesday, butt to butt.
Clarify. Yeah.
So I do like that's kind of my good like clear out beginning of the week. I make sure I do the 2 days in a row, really kind of clear out, and then every other day the rest of the week, and that's really seemed to work for me.
I gotta look into that. That's I learned about it when it first came out, and then it hasn't crossed my mind since. So yeah,
Yeah,
kind
Anthony.
of. I like an excuse to sit on the toilet and watch stuff first thing in the morning and not immediately start working. So
That is what I used to just sit there on my phone like I would either answer emails or a lot of times I would just end up being sucked into social media and just scrolling through Instagram, scrolling for like an hour or two. So yeah, I wasn't really using my time super productively anyway. So it is nice to be able to do a little something. But now I just we watch the news or a little show or something while I'm stretching in the morning because I still do stretch every morning before getting out of bed, and
uh,
that's good. That's when I'm on the toilet, I got a mission. I'm doing it.
you're very goal oriented once you're on the John. Yes.
And yeah, Leah mentioned I'm so full of shit, but I don't think more bad days will help.
Only the wife can say that.
Yeah. Uh,
Ken, yes, we did talk about Sean's shirt. That was
oh
just
yeah.
it was I was gonna say it was a fluke. Oh my
it,
God. So
it, it was a fluke.
it was a fluke because this was last minute that, Sean asked me to come on and then the girls couldn't make it. So just so happened, am I right, Sean? It just so happened you were wearing that shirt, right?
It did, yeah, no, because Leah she actually bought this shirt out of our inventory for me. She's so,
Yeah, you're wearing it roulettes.
and I wore it at the Rolettes so that I would just wanted to feel like I was helping with the women's empowerment movement. Uh, but now
Thank
I'm
you.
not gonna like waste it and not use it. So it's been in the mix. I guess I think she thought since we were doing the Wheel Girl talk show today, and even if I wasn't on camera, just in solidarity, was. But yeah, I actually will probably wear this from time to time just on my own because that's all right. I'm comfortable. I'm not afraid to wear pink and have the lipstick on there.
Real man.
That's right. Uh,
Thank you, Robert. I appreciate you appreciating the pun.
yeah, no, Julian, you are pretty quick with those. Really funny. Uh,
20 years of comedy improv, people.
oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it just gets under your skin. Yeah, 20 years. It's so fun. Just so fun. Actually made a living doing comedy improv and movie dubbing. That was an interesting chapter in my life.
Nice. What like time was that? of your life when you're?
Let's see. I was pregnant with Hillary when I was doing it, so it was Hillary was born in 93, so late 80s, all the way through probably 95, 96, because my ex-husband owned the theater.
Hmm.
And after going through rehab and getting involved in the community and feeling like myself, a new self, I told him I think I'm ready to go back into the comedy improv. And he goes, "There's nothing funny about people in wheelchairs."
That was funny.
Divorce followed soon after.
I can understand. But yeah, that actually that's a. I mean, looking back, it's a funny comment.
About
It's a-
15 years later, he finally apologized one day, looking very sheepish, I think, as he saw how marketable disabled comics are, right? And I was just thinking, the articles, the TV coverage he could have gotten. Wife in wheelchair comes back to do comedy improv. Silly boy.
Yeah. And there actually are quite a few stand-up, sit-down kind of comedians now. Like we actually had one on a little while, like maybe a year or so, year and a half ago, this guy Gabriel. And then I talked to somebody else at the Rolettes, actually. One of the guys that was there for the Rolettes Plus was a comedian. He was talking about he does some like stand-up stage stuff and things, but that's awesome to do the improv work and to do the you said voice dubbing too. That's-
Right? Movie dubbing, had a radio show for a while. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't have much social anxiety due to all of that. I
Mickey
kind
says,
of know
could,
in any situation I'll be fine.
yeah, no, that's good. That's awesome. That's a really good skill to
It's
have.
great training. And back in those days, I mean, we used to have executives who would come in and do train in improv just so that they could be quick on their feet when they were in meetings.
That's really cool.
It's a radio program. Yeah. It was the 90s, Leah. I have no idea where they went.
And yeah, Mickey made a comment that should do it again. America's Got Talent on a, go try out for America's Got Talent. uh, that's
Uh,
that
I don't need to.
you would definitely get some TV representation. I feel like because they will, like you said, they will market the fact that you're in a wheelchair and you're off.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
And
Yeah.
shout out to Aaron Wheels Fotheringham, the guy who does this WCMX. He actually, I think, ended up being like the runner up on America's Got Talent Extreme like a year or so ago. He did that big mega ramp thing and he did like a backflip.
Sure.
Yep, yeah, he was on there and he actually I think made it to like the final. He was one of the
Yeah, I
final
think you're
couple
right.
ones I think that got. He didn't win it, but he was like one of the top couple, which is cool. So they shout out to the representation on there. So
Yeah,
uh,
and you're right, Mickey. Jay Kramer was one of the first sit-down stand-ups, and he used to host comedy night for Wings back at the
really,
Sagebrush Cantina. Again, back in the 90s.
that's
For those
awesome.
of you who remember the 90s.
Yeah, that's what I was around in the '90s, but I was young. Actually, I went through high school in the '90s because I graduated the year 2000 from my high school. I was the class of the millennium. uh,
The 90s were fun. The 90s were a good time, but the 70s were the best. I'm
yeah, I
sorry y'all
definitely
missed the
wasn't around
70s.
for that one.
Robert and I enjoyed the 70s. And
uh,
Mickey.
well,
Mickey
yeah, no,
remembers the
Mickey.
70s.
Yeah, no, definitely, no. And Mickey, hope you're doing well, getting healed up and stuff. I've been meaning to reach out and check in. So, all right, we're kind of getting. We actually are already at four. That went by so fast.
I know.
uh,
Oh, I have a question, Sean. How
yeah,
tall are you?
I am 6'1", so I am 6'1". That's what I'm a very like tall, skinny person, and I feel like I look taller with the because I'm using the laptop, not our desktop for today. and it's lower. It's like looking up at me.
I don't know, I've just always wanted to ask you because it seems to me that, that the taller people really, get kinda screwed when you're in a manual chair because you have to there's so much more you have to fold up and get in there tiny.
Yeah, and that's what I actually just got measured for a new manual chair yesterday from Mobility Professionals, which shout out to our sponsors. I will do that in a
Yes?
second. But they came out to my here actually to the studio to my grandma's house and met me, and I was able to transfer and hop in the couch for a little bit and get all measured. But I don't quite like my chair is very compact for how small, how tall and skinny I am. So I am very
Mhm.
folded in there, but for me that kind of gives me some artificial trunk almost by having that bucket and kind of folding me into the chair a little bit. So it kind
Gotcha.
of does give me more balance and like false trunk like control sort of what makes it look like I have more trunk because of that. But yeah, that's it is hard being tall. My legs and the driving part's difficult too because as a quad, I have to get as close as I possibly can to have good leverage on the wheel. Even with the
Right.
reduced effort steering, I have to get very close. Like I can't be way back here and hold it like and have any good strength. Um, so with my long legs, I gotta basically pin my knee against the dash almost. Like I gotta be as close as I can physically get it. Um, and that's what in my old van I used to. My knees would have red spots in the front of them because I would jam them like literally up against the dash to get close enough. So that is one of the problems with being tall. Yeah, that the folding, getting yourself into these
And if
spaces.
you have a right angle hand control, you're pushing down into your leg, so you'd have to do a push-pull, I would think,
No, I do the
right?
right angle, and it does. I have to really make sure where my leg is positioned, because if
Exactly.
it will sometimes give me resistance when I try to push down because it will rub against my leg and have
Yeah.
not for the brake though. Luckily, it's just for the gas. So it's the brake, how whatever it is, it doesn't actually rub when I push it. Like whatever the however the bar moves under there. So that's one thing I'm thankful for because that is the more important part. If I accelerate slowly and you honk at me, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but yeah,
But failing to stop is worse.
that's the bigger one. Yeah, and that's the other thing. I mentioned this on the show before when we first got this van. Um, my old van didn't have any type of safety things on the hand controls, which is why a valet used my hand controls and crashed that van years ago. But this one has a little like locking mechanism to lock your hand control so the gas won't work. The brake will still work, but the gas will not work. And my knee accidentally like spasmed and hit it while I was stopped at an intersection. It was a big intersection, and I let off the brake, went to hit the gas, and we just idled forward into the intersection. And I was the first car, so everyone's honking. Leah's quick acting; she hit my hazards right away. But by the time I made it through the intersection, the light had turned red, and the oncoming traffic was coming like at me, and like having to wait for me to idle through, like literally 1 mile an hour, like idle through the intersection. Um, so that was something we learned right away. Like, okay, and now she can quickly. We knows while we're driving, she'll reach over and pop it back because it's happened a few times for me where I have bumped it with my knee because I'm so close. So we're gonna try to make some sort of blocker for that.
Yeah.
um, oh,
Leah, you'd be surprised how many safety features have really gotten people into trouble. Like the fact that now the safety feature is you can't move your transfer seat while the
oh,
car's
I don't
running.
like that one either. I do not
God,
like that one.
sometimes you need to move that chair, right?
That's what we like. Even today, we had to do that when we were driving because it was a little warm. They do have a little override switch you can click, and it just beeps at you the whole time you're doing
Yeah.
it. So like, I just am kind of like screw it. Well, I'm just gonna do that in the summer months right now while it is hot because especially if we have the dog and stuff. We're not, Leah. Everybody's in the hot. We're just all dying in this heat because we can't turn the van on because I'm trying to get transferred. So yeah, we've decided we're just gonna go ahead and use the override on when we have
Yeah.
to.
Put up with the buzz.
Yeah, it's annoying, but as long as you don't, you shut it off by the time you drive, so it's okay.
Hmm.
And maybe I'll even look into seeing if I can remove whatever makes that noise.
I thought of that. Yeah. I thought of that. If you do, Let me know. Let me know how to do it. Ooh, we're saying this on the air. Who was it? Somebody wanted to know what kind of chair you're getting. Was that Robert?
Oh yeah, I think it was Robert that asked me. So right now I am in between. I actually was trying to order a Colors wheelchair because Colors will do some aftermarket customization stuff for me, and I want them to bring in my emotion wheels to narrow the width of the chair. Um, but they shut down production earlier this year, and they actually just opened up a new warehouse, and they're only doing limited production. So we're checking, and if I can't end up going that route, well, we're going to go with the tie light. I'm going with, and I'm hoping that they also do some custom modifications, and you can get it through the Permobile grant program. They have some stuff, so you don't actually even have to pay for some of the stuff insurance won't pay for. So I'm hoping that, and if that doesn't work, I'm gonna try to apply for a grant and get a custom chair made. Because if my chair gets much wider than it is right now, I'm not going to be able to fit through our doorway at home. It's a very narrow doorway, and I already barely fit right now. And my chair is a 13-inch wide seat. So, and I've
Wow.
had this chair for like close to 13 years now. But so what I did to modify it, the frame's 13, but my side guards, I actually had custom little, instead of a straight bar, it goes up and then it kicks out a half inch and then up. So they flare out the half inch basically over the frame. So I still have a 14-inch cushion sitting on the 13-inch frame. So basically, that's how I'm able to have the width of chair that I have, because that closed the gap that the emotion wheels create, because they're a wider wheel, and where it mounts, it just sits out wider. So that's how I've got around it, and I just need to be able to continue having that narrow chair.
I'm in the middle of getting an RGK, but that's a
RGK is
lot of,
really nice, and yeah, that's what
yeah.
RGK is, really beautiful chairs, and that's what, if I ended up applying for a grant, they're one I would think about doing for like a custom chair.
They'll do everything custom.
So yeah, that's why I know they'll do everything custom, hands-on concepts. So I know Andrew from Triumph. He has the exact modifications done by hands-on concepts that I want on his chair. Like they did the same thing. And the other one is, shout out to Finch Adaptive Designs. Tom Finch is a local sort of friend, small company that does custom WCMX and other sports chairs, hiking chairs, and things. But he also makes some everyday ones, and they're really nice looking chairs. So I may end up going there.
Allie's dance chair. Miss Wheelchair California, he's doing a dance chair for her.
Oh, is he? Okay, really cool. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that is super cool. So, yeah, so those are my options right now. I'm still sort of, but I wanted to get it started because I want, the very least, I want the new emotion wheels. So I'm like, get this going. I need those wheels. Like, so even if the chair doesn't work great for me, at least those wheels, I'll have the updated wheels, and I'll figure out the frame of the chair later.
Are there new ones on the market now, Sean?
Yeah, they are. The new ones are out. They've been out a few years. I was just a little late on mine for these ones, so I was like a year too late getting them last time. But like Andrew and some other people have them now, and they seem really nice. They even have features like the smart drive, where you can just kind of from your phone manually, you can turn them on a setting so that they will just kind of perpetually roll. You don't have to roll them yourself like all the time. They have a lot of different cool features that are updated like that. So, and it, all from your phone, like you can adjust and everything. It has like an app. So, looking forward to that.
Yay!
Um, did Nico get the e-wheels? I don't know actually. Derek, we just saw Nico, but he was in his power chair at the Rolettes on Friday. So, um, but yeah, that's what I'm doing for my chair, and I'll keep you guys updated. I also have an awesome e-cycle coming. I got a grant from High Fives, Kelly Brush, and then Triumph kicked in the last little bit, um, for a really cool e-cycle, the same one Bobby has actually, and you guys seen it probably in the background of the channel for in Bobby's little man cave garage thing. But it's a really cool. It goes, I think, like 15, 16 miles an hour. Um, and it's got the e-assist on the cycle. It attaches directly to my chair, so I won't have to like transfer into those low hand cycles and things.
Those are
So
hard.
Really
Or
looking
not
forward to
in.
that.
In is easy. Out. Back out again is hard.
Yeah, but yeah. So I'll keep you guys updated. Anything else you want to share, Julianne, before we wrap up with the sponsors and everything here right now?
What fun to get a chance to actually talk to Shawn. I mean, usually we're both too busy to have more than hi and details, details.
Yeah, I know because it's always
Pick your booth for Long Beach. Pick
pick it.
your booth.
I will. I honestly, I know I put the deposit and I didn't. I guess I had one picked out too. I don't know. I had a lot going on in my brain, I guess, and just sometimes I.
No, really? Yeah.
But
Yep. Pick his booth for Long
I'll
Beach.
click it and I'll check that map again and I'll send you the info. I'll get that done. I do need to get that done. So.
Okay.
um,
Everybody needs to know where to find you. Just pick a booth that has enough space around for, the ensemble that
no, that's
goes
what I
with you.
always look for. Yeah, I look for I always want a corner, but I also look for like where there's maybe a little extra space in between the booth.
Exactly.
So that,
Yeah, for your groupies.
yeah, for the yeah. So I will get that done. And so yeah, shout out anybody. Next year's uh, LA Abilities Expo will be in Long Beach, and you guys should come out. I think I've heard from you and from others and things that Long Beach Convention Center is actually nice. I had a couple people that
It
talked to me
is.
about it, so had mentioned that it's really nice. So
Yeah, yeah. And the restaurants are awesome around there.
oh, that's cool.
Uh,
Another benefit too.
I'm
Yeah,
just
Viv
looking.
mini space for the horde. Yeah, that's what we.
March 27th through the 29th. Put it on your calendar.
Yeah, that's coming up quicker than people realize. It's like we're already 6 months out of like, or a little more than that, but it's gonna come fast. So,
Yep.
all
Well, this
right.
has been really fun. You want to talk about our sponsors?
Yeah, sure. So I'll shout out to our sponsors real quick. Mobility Professionals and Urology Professionals. Mobility Professionals is a local DME here in Southern California, so anywhere in the Southern California area. And I actually just talked to the rep who came and helped me yesterday. Goes all the way out past Palm Springs, even to Blythe. Like literally, it's like the border of California, and all the way down to San Diego and all over. So, and I think all the way up into like Fresno area. So really all of Southern and Central California. They do cover and get out there. So if you need a new wheelchair or standing frame, commode, anything like that, give them a call and they can help you get set up. And they will come out to you to get measured and do all that stuff. That's one of the great things that they do
Is
as
Dean
well.
doing your chair?
No, this time he didn't measure my chair. He measured me for the last one when I went into the office. But Carlton, one of the workers that works for them, he's a really nice guy. He's been doing wheelchair stuff. I think we talked to him yesterday for like 20 years now, for multiple different companies, even back working with Anthony, with Wheelie, I think, way back. Or even
Wow.
before that, yeah, so he's been doing a lot, and I trust him. He did really good with measuring me up and stuff and getting everything, and he knows exactly what I'm looking for, so he's gonna try to make sure I can get everything set up right. So, yeah, shout out to that whole staff. They're all very friendly. Most of them are super helpful and try to do everything they can to help you out. So, and then their sister company is Urology Professionals, and they're nationwide. So if you need catheters anywhere in the country, they will actually ship them directly to your doorstep. They don't need somebody to come out and get measured up and fit you for that one. That's you just tell them over the phone what you need, and
That
they'll
would
get
be
you
an
set up.
awkward job, wouldn't
That would be an awkward job. What's so what diameter do you need? Let's check them all. We'll try them.
it? I got my tape measure right here.
uh,
Uh,
but yeah, so shout out to our sponsors. We really do appreciate the company. They do help out a lot, and they provide us with enough to keep everything rolling, keep us able to do all our printouts and everything like that. So thank you to our sponsors. Really appreciate them. And we will be back next week with another live Live to Roll on Tuesday. Make sure to tune in, check that out. And next Thursday, Bobby will be back with the Rolling Over the Hill. Oops, I don't have their. Oh, yeah, I do. There we go. With another Rolling Over the Hill on next Thursday as well. So tune in, check out the guys. And Julianne will be back, I think, the week after that on the Thursday for
yeah,
the
I'll be
Roll.
coming to you from Houston. I'll
Okay.
be coming from the Houston Abilities Expo. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I actually think it's kind of fun when you've done, because you've done it a few times from like the hotel or on location, like kind of from the expos. So that is cool. It's kind of cool for people to see, I think, and get to know. But so yeah, so make sure to check that out, and then yeah, that is check them out the next Thursday, first Thursday of the month for August. So
Yeah,
check
'cause
that
it's
out.
my goal to be in Houston in August. Yeah, baby. 100 degrees, 100% humidity.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that's not going to be a very fun. Stay inside the convention center.
Stay inside. Yep.
Uh,
Mickey, call me about red light therapy. I use it every day.
oh, okay. Do you use the DNA Vibe one or different red light therapy? I was just curious because we saw them at the LA Expo some years ago, actually, and they actually even gave us a couple of their ones to try. So, and I thought it actually worked for a while. I was using it pretty regularly. I was laying on it with like in a section of my back right here, like it's like an oval kind of pad one, and I would go to sleep
Yeah.
with it on and just kind of let it run, and it would time out. I think at an hour and shut off, and I would just usually wake up in the night and be able to kind of pull it out from under me and didn't bother me. But I did notice because I was doing regular sports massages, like really like deep tissue like things. And the guy that does the work for me, he actually could notice. He said he actually traced out where I had where I would like lay that pad. He could kind of like feel where it was. Like I told him, I was like, I laid on the back. He's like, oh, and he kind of feel. He's like, is it kind of about this size? I was like, yeah, that's right about the section that I use it on. So I know that it does actually seem to have some effectiveness. It was keeping that area more relaxed. But, but yeah.
Well, Mickey, when I was with you in Vegas for the United Spinal Conference, I was going through that little Vegas mall, and this very salesman-y guy says, "Come here, my dear, I have all these wonderful things to show you." So there was a red and yellow light therapy thing, that's supposed to make me look 300 years younger, and it was priced at $15,000.
Hmm.
And yeah, and I went, but I ended up getting it. I left there with like all of these bottles of creams and potions and da da da, and the red yellow light therapy thing for 1,500.
Okay.
So, and I said, here we are, however many years, Mickey, at least 4 years later, and I still use it every day. So, do I look 300 years younger?
I think you're doing it. Whatever you are doing is working. So,
Thanks, but I do use it on my shoulder. Yeah,
okay,
feels better. I don't know long term if it's helps, but it feels better.
awesome. No, yeah. I mean, anything, even yeah, if it's just making you feel better, I feel like that helps. So,
That's the goal.
all right, guys. Thank you again. Thank you, Julianne, for hopping on here last minute. I hope you guys enjoyed the little bit of last minute, just kind of hang out, little discussion. So we'll be back
Banter.
next week.
We had
Yeah, a little bit of
banter. That's
banter, a
what we
little
had.
bit of fun banter. So hopefully it was a good episode for you guys. Let us know in the comments and things below if you enjoyed it. So yeah, thanks again, everybody. Mickey, hope you're doing well, and everybody else in the chat, thank you all. We appreciate you guys, and live to roll, everybody. See you next time.